Hi, hello, welcome to the Daily Chat Buffet brought to you by Vertex of Abundance by me. Green Fish is a Blowski. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the transiting moon into Gemini. If you're new, welcome. You belong to welcome home. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you for continued support. It's a delight and an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. Listen, we're a little bit late with things, and it's okay. I like to get this energy out. I'm really into houses. The way I do astrology, or really the true way astrology is done, especially in the Western, the tropical charts, it's really about the houses, or the houses are relevant. Let me put it to you that way. Um, so we're like a day or two behind with this, and I'm going to get it out just for all intents and purposes. It's the same with a couple other videos, so I'm getting them out for a reason, and we'll bring the Oracle Council back soon. That'll illuminate a lot for all of us, including, absences or lapses or whatever, what have you. I want to get this energy here because it's talking already. I also just want to let you know for housekeeping, you can always like double speed the videos up to twice as fast. So you can reduce the video up to one half in its length. There's oftentimes also like between the Hamza hands and the show notes or the about section or the description box, there's also usually a description. Almost always, it's not going to be 100% of the time, but more often than not, okay? And then, Virtues of Abundance is a galactic temple of ascension. We're delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. So if anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. From Liminal 11, we'll be using This Might Hurt Tarot. That's by Isabella Rotman. Okay. And that's going to be to impose the guidance. So we lay four cards initially. It's the overall energy during this transiting moon into Gemini. That's what we're gathered here today to dialogue and discuss. During the Gemini season, when there's a Gemini event, we're actually having a first house event. So any energy moving through Gemini, which right now happens to be the moon, also known as illumination, for a couple few days, we'll be having increased insight and intuition into whatever the first house represents according to or manifesting from the energy of the sign. So we're going to have, a shift, a change, or deeper insight into or intuition into our drives, desires, passions, motivations, according to our spirit, karma, life path, destiny. It's going to manifest as intellect, reasoning, communication, maybe sometimes short distance travels, often typically less than 400 kilometers, also known as 250 miles. Also, to say it differently, we may learn a couple few things about our technique or our craft or our talent or our skill, kind of the way we do, the way we get down. Not really our thug thistle, our hustle, our grind, our flow, but it's really more not the what so much as the how. And if the what is there, the how's kind of fading away because it could be our craft, which is how we do things, or it could be our skill, which is what we do. Okay, that's what the third house talks about. Yeah, okay. This is not the third house, excuse me. It's the first house. Gemini typically rules the third house, but we are not talking about that today. We're talking about the first house. So we have the Tower, Eight of Cups, Queen of Cups, World. Again, I repeat, Tower, Eight of Cups, Queen of Cups, World. One last time for those in the back. Tower, Eight of Cups, Queen of Cups, World. When we lay more cards, it'll be to clarify or modify, but this is this overall energy. So the tower is an inciting incident. It doesn't always have to be, possibly, maybe, probably not. It could be a revelation, typically a shocking one. I like to use this word decrustation, dismantleization, but the foundation does not need to be shaken to its core. However, it very well can be. This is some type of revelation that we were not aware of. It can shake things up because truth is coming out or something is collapsing. The word for this is also rupture. With the world card, however, we have the left eye and the right eye of the divine. So this could be if it's not a conflict zone or some type of, zone that's been you know, terrorized or trampled over through conflict, even one that might raise the level of war. Excuse me for the refugees and survivors out there. It could also be, and we have prayers at the end. So um, it could also be something that's an awakening. It can also be that we're moving through time or we're looking back through a cycle, back to a time when it was tumultuous or chaotic. Tower can be crisis or in survival mode. And now we're beginning to understand why and what and how, you know, hindsight's 2020 kind of deal. Now, the Queen of Cups is, I'm hearing the word Regina de Copa. So there's some type of Strigenia Benedetti out there, healing or maybe not so healing. This is unconditional tolerance. The cups are unconditional, and then the queens are is tolerant. So this could be developing some type of authentic, genuine, sincere self, our authentic self to nature. This is typically somebody that has their heart in somebody else's heart in their hand or is receiving the unconditional love of the divine. Queen of Cups is also beloved. Queen of Cups with the Eight of Cups is somebody who needs, Queens needs, Cups is connection, or this is someone who needs to withdraw or needs to mature or learn about their spiritual skills. It's happening. It's happening. I can attest to this personally. It seems like we're coming to some kind of full circle in relation to our spiritual skills, our maturity, some type of pilgrimage. We're catching up on a couple few things, or a couple few things are kind of coming around and putting the period, not just that, but turning the page, not just that, but completing the chapter, not just that, but closing the book, finishing the book, if you would. The world card typically talks about full cycles, but it's a achievement also. So we've achieved revelation. We've achieved also some type of trial. We've passed some type of test, and now we're in adapt, especially in relation to ourselves. We either know ourselves or we know our connection to the divine, or we know what our spiritual skills are. Fool, Ace of Swords, Judgment. I just heard the word il justizio. So there is some type of karma is what I'm getting a shaking off. We might have been under some type of, I'm hearing there's a complex matrix of spell work. Um, and it doesn't always mean, because we're not, if we're not culturally into that, it doesn't always mean that. The spells could be, yeah, abracadabra, hocus pocus, at an altar, doing candles and roots and all that. But it could also be several different intentions. And sometimes other people's intentions are not always in alignment with our own intentions. It's not always like somebody's actively doing magic with the intent to manifest their will. And sometimes it's on another person, they're lording over, speaking over, presiding over. Sometimes it's that. It's not always, though. Sometimes we just walk into other people's energy, walk into other people's plans, walk into other people's orchestrations, machinations. Sometimes there's an agenda, a motive, a tactic, a strategy in the environment surrounding location, that we're inhabiting, and then like we walk into the path. Sometimes we hit a tripwire or we walk across a perimeter we don't know about. And then people do get all in their feelings, in their attitude, in their ego. Sometimes they mistake their sacred office or their duty to the divine as something that needs to be executed because of a personal injury. Sometimes their feelings get hurt, or they feel slighted, or they get ignored, or overlooked, or dismissed, or bypassed, or whatever, and they feel some kind of way, and they actually do something about it. Sometimes people could just be feeling some kind of way under the full moon, or they can share their opinion in public, and a couple people witness. All of those kind of equal magic, but when it's done in concentric circles or there's a repetitive pattern, that's also spell work. Okay, so I'm hearing it. I'm not quite seeing it yet because we're here. We're chosen McChosen over here right now. We have the full Ace of Swords, Judgment, Nine of Cups over the last couple few weeks onwards. Oh, towards so as we go towards this Sagittarius full moon around the 11th or 12th, there's going to be some truth coming out about our spiritual gifts, talents, about our place in this world. Excuse me. And a couple few things are going to come out. We're going to learn a couple few things. We're going to notice a couple few things, or a couple few things are going to get confirmed. There's been this removing obstacles, getting back to duty, leaving things behind, withdrawing, self-sacrifice, self-surrender to the self. Getting rid of bad habits is usually how that manifests. It could be other things as well, leaving people or places that don't really align. But there's a timing indicator. We did something over the last couple few months, and then over the last week or so, we made a concrete decision, and then the whole shift kind of came through, or it's working on coming through, but it's going to hit for sure, for sure. Ace of Swords Judgment card, it's going to hit. It's already been decided. The energy is already kind of aligning in the upper realms, and it's trying to come into the physical. Now, Five of Wands, Six of Swords, again, we're moving into a calmer future, easier sailing waters, easy peasy. When before it was tough and squeezy, like it was most difficult and precarious. 501, Six of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, Death card. So this is saying to me that we had to get into calmer emotional waters. We may have had to even enter that river Styx or go into, the waters of remembrance. We had to learn a couple few things about ourselves or address a couple few things in front of us, really deal with and process that some things were just rather malangroso, negrita, like stuck or gross or combative or, Five of Wands is typically for us, it's a karmic lesson when we're dealing with other people. That could be a hater, that could be someone taking an L. And if they're living in the energy, eventually they become a loser. A loser is just a person who hasn't won yet. But if you quit on yourself, then you become a loser. Because this is an energy, if it's another person we're dealing with, they're under the impression that there's not enough to go around. I'm not quite saying scarcity mentality, but it's like a self-worth thing, if you know what I mean. So they're in this energy of like competition, contestation, crossings, conundrums, compounding, cascading cacophonies of karma. They're in, this hater energy, or like they are getting repelled because of our boundaries and standards they don't quite fit. And honestly, it's not the way it looks, but this is a universal reading. It's multiple energies here. It's general. If you know, like recognizes like. That's kind of it. So some people will stay on the outside just because they can't show up yet. They might not be this tall to ride this ride, or they might not be vibing or chilling, or they might not align towards, they might evolve away from. And when the world is getting better by definition and you're staying the same, by definition, you're actually getting worse. At least the world's leaving you behind. So, yeah, okay, it's kind of like get with the program, but it's more like keep up, not keep up with the Joneses, but keep up with alignment and evolution and ascension. And that's not always what's happening. So there's some energy here where over the next couple few weeks, someone's going to learn that over the last couple few weeks, the truth came to our own self. And we came in an alignment with truth, and we stepped out of illusion, and we're stepping away from anything that's not in alignment with our energy body is going to be repelled, because there's this karmic broom. There's this sweeping away here. The death card is, people don't realize this, but the scythe really means sweeping away karma. Yeah, sometimes we get wrapped up in the karma, but when we swing the scythe, there's a cut. There's a line of demarcation. That there's a clear moment before and after, even if it's not in that moment that it's clear. Our life do change from some specific event, and typically it's more dramatic. I don't want to enumerate, illuminate, elucidate illuminate here because sometimes those moments are bad. You know, we get broken up with, or we get a diagnosis, or some kind of tragedy happens. Those are very clear before and after moments, but sometimes they're more subtle. The day I found my self-worth and value, the day I decided to quit my job, the day I decided to start a business, the day I decided to move cities, the day I decided to put myself out there, and the day I decided to join this club, to take up this hobby. You know, sometimes, but there's a karmic broom sweeping. And that's why there's this 501 energy. It is a karmic lesson for us that we try to get in and fit in ways that we shouldn't. We try to show up and participate in ways that we shouldn't. But also, a lot of the energies that we're around, they're used to who we used to be. And when they start popping off at the mouth, or maybe even the environment starts fighting us and getting all attitude and rolling their head around like the Jerry Springer chicken neck with a finger. I know who you are, and I know you, and I know what you're fixing to do, and what you're thinking, and what you're feeling, and la da yada yada. You know, when they get like that, it just means like we're killing the person they love. We're becoming a bigger, brighter, and better being, and they're used to who we used to be, not who we're becoming. And that's fine, you know, move how you move. I'm just gonna move out your way. It's kind of how that works, you know. You know, I don't like that for you. That's how that goes. We have King of Cups, Queen of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, and the Star card. So, Queen of Swords Star card means Aquarius moon. King of Cups Death card can talk about a sun in Scorpio. To a lesser degree, it could talk about an Aquarius rising. And then we have the Star card with the Queen of Swords, because that could be an Aquarius moon. To a lesser degree, a the Scorpio rising. So we also have King of Cups, Queen of Cups. So that's a couple or a match or whatever. From Etsy, we have the Top of Love Oracle to deliberate the findings for any type of pairing energy according to union. That's by Vibe About It Tarot, again over at Etsy. Aquarius came out, so Aquarius energy is big, and it's this King Queen of Cups here. So that's two people that are matched up in terms of love. They're beloved, shared. So we have some messages from the other side. What we might be saying is, it finally dawned on me why I feel so drawn to you and why our connection is so intense and scary. I'm starting to understand my fears and overwhelming emotions towards you. Okay. Message from this other side, not us, but the other one. I feel you through everything. The things that I touch, the images I see, the voices I hear, we are connected throughout the universe, even if we are miles away. So there's some rebuilding and tower moments here. What shared energy is tower moments. And it started out with the tower, and now we have tower again. So changes that are difficult but necessary to grow, moments in life that pushes us to be better and do better because we deserve better. Now, if there's a third party or if the divine has intended something for us, this is what it is: rebuilding, starting over, but better than ever, being honest with one's feelings and aspirations for the connection, moving forward with hard work and communication. So that's what this Aquarius energy is. It's the benevolent energy, independent, artistic, progressive, idealistic, unique, altruistic, intelligent. Vertex of Abundance is a galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. If anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and smash that like button. From Ripe Avocado, we'll be using the minor arcana of the Cosmic Coven Tarot to deliberate any findings for pairings, including like multiples. So if we have a pair of this or triple this, a set of this. So I just want to get again to this Queen and King Cups, King of Wands. So this is about taking massive action, or somebody that's very attractive, or somebody that's a leader. They want to motivate, drive desires, passions, motivations, or they're trying to manifest their own dread desires, passions, motivation. It also could be somebody very, very sexy. Sassy, sassy. Yeah, because there's some collaboration here, but it's not always work. So there's some opportunities to catch, and somebody's desiring to learn, to figure things out, to get things named as well, or to get through the unknown. So it could be working things out to also get in a connection here. And we have a pair of aces. So a pair of aces is usually a new relationship. The word for that is union. Tell me about this pair of aces. Yeah, so we got a little fight in us left. We've got a lot of strength left. There's also some wariness here. There can be some entitlement, which could have been a previous expectation that was kind of dashed. But I'm feeling there needed to be some kind of communication because something wasn't clear. And then I'm also hearing that we had an expectation we were kind of keeping on, or holding tight. And then we discovered ourselves in the value, had to move on, move forward. We're refining our boundaries and standards. I don't know why I know that, but with the Nine of Wands, it would be about finding our strength. I'm hearing that you gotta keep on keeping on. You gotta keep your head up high. You gotta work with what you got. Because sometimes you will find. Okay, that's a lot of cards here. Oh, Dark Night of the Soul. Oopsie, that's the moon. Oh, and we do have the moon. Excuse me. I don't mean to laugh, but I do mean to cackle. Okay, so I'm fighting my demons and reclaiming or re-examining my actions. It is life altering and also extremely painful. At times I fight against the changes, but I know it must happen for me to evolve. Personal and deep development of oneself, enhanced awareness of identity, an extremely difficult and painful period. Dark night of the soul. So I'm getting, and these are falling out face down, so it means it's coming from not us, it's coming from the other side, okay? Not tie, not tie, but I spy, I spy. So we have dark night of the soul triggered, deception, and ego driven. Now, these energies here together, it means usually self deception. If it's that masquerade and deception, we got a liar on our hands. But this is just a karmic Five of Wands here. And we're soulmates in some kind of way, shape, form, or another, because we have the King and Queen of Cups. And there was some type of agreement. Ace of a pair of aces typically means it's a union of some kind. So deceit, somebody lying to themselves. Actions do not match their words, pretends their feelings for you does not exist and is dismissive of you. Living a lie, won't even admit it to themselves. Yeah, and now your chest burns and now your back ache. I was hearing earlier Get It Together, and it was that song in the RE, but um, you know, the narrative that I'm getting, and I wasn't going to say this because I don't know why. There was this thing where like there was like a misconnection or false start, and we're trying to circle the block, spin the block, or hold space for the other person, or take it as it resonates. It's the same energy hitting everybody, but it manifests differently according to our chart, according to our level of healing and awakening. So there was kind of like a excusing or holding space and room, or like a second chance or the benefit of the doubt, or like whatever, what have you. And then we discovered like, okay, well, what about my self-worth and value? What about what I deserve? You know, if you had access to me and you didn't do whatever, what have you, then why am I going to care? And yes, blessings be upon you, you know, prayers for your healing and awakening. Let the goddess illuminate your path, order your steps, thank the Lord, bless the goddess, XYZ, LMP, ABC, TUV, EFG, all of that and then some, but like ego. Somebody had their little malangria, their little, I'm Henry the Eighth, I am Henry the Eighth, I am, I am. So there's a pattern and an expectation and some entitlement and an imposition of somebody's own image or narrative onto the other, and not a lot of inquiry, investigation, examination, which means that's a lack of assessing the situation. And see, over here we have the star card, so we have the hope, the wish, the dream, the prayer, the aspiration. We're guided by faith, not by sight here. But then there's the death. That means a change in destiny. With the Nine of Cups star card, we get what we want. But see, we have the World card, which means we already went through this Five of Wands. And the Tower is here too, so somebody else probably still is going through it. Because the Judgment, they're just now getting an awakening, illumination. Because we have the revelation, typically widespread. And if it isn't across the surface of the planet, it goes throughout the ages, through all your timelines. With the Tower, it's right there, right now in the physical, but usually it rocks you to your core because look, no, tumultuous lives. So we're holding on for somebody. This is what I'm getting. But they're, rata cucaracha, pinchiku, because they just couldn't evolve enough to talk to us, to say, hey, what's up? Let me check on you. Let me holler at you for a moment. This is what's alive in me. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm wanting. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm needing. They took whatever, probably, mierda from the, donkey's anus instead of came and got the gospel from the horse's mouth. And then they walked away with some kind of attitude, feeling some kind of way because they thought whatever they were, we withdrew our energy here. We didn't get detached, Four of Cups or um, rejected, but there was a walking away, getting up from the table and no longer being served. And somebody here feels some kind of way. I'm a widow. Because the Queen of Swords, Six of Swords means, hey, honey, hey, honey, sweetie, darling child, I need to move on, move forward. Need, Queen, move on, move forward. Six of Swords. This is also receiving grace. Six of Swords is receiving grace. So what this is telling me is that it was hard, it hurt, and we moved on, moved forward. We learned a lesson. And the lesson's finally getting to the other side. But there's a pair of nines here needing to spend time alone. Three of Swords. Somebody needed to have their heartbreak. Yeah, bringing on the heartbreak. And they're crying out, no, 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 don't leave, don't go. But the thing is we walked away because of the way they acted. Instead of being like, hey, okay, is there attraction here? Or hey, like, what's going on? What is this? I don't know the details, but what I'm being told is somebody perceived either that our boundaries were too hard, and I took that as we didn't like them, or something, and they acted a way that this ruined it. Instead of being like, okay, I'm being rejected, I gotta go, or um, let me talk to the person and like work it out, something to that effect. They did something just not right, and they skedaddled, but there's still some kind of energetic cord. What do you feel about this? Is the Galactic Temple of Ascension delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. If anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and smash that like button. From Los Carabeo, we will be deliberating the findings for any type of correlative or corresponding energy from Vita Sibilla, the Daily Oracle. I'm going to go ahead and check on this tower combined with the judgment. Those together mean conflict resolution. We have the Torre. That is somebody giving medicine the solution. But you see, there's some resentment here. And it's a shared energy. So there's hurt feelings to go around because somebody here was trying to open up their heart, and it really was the truth. Al cuore dinero. It means that the root of the matter is something very precious and well guarded, and al cuore, joy of the heart. So there was a need to mature here, come out of the cocoon, emerge from the chrysalis, cocoon. Well, what is the Six of Swords, Queen of Swords? You figured out that. So there was some needing to check oneself for their loyalty because it's almost like we grew old holding on from somebody, and then we finally had to put that to bed, a bit over, or it's a widower. So we're still carrying around something that's already been done, died. And I learned this when I was younger, so excuse me if it hits you in some kind of way that's kind of funny. Um, but the easiest way to it's easier to give birth to new children than it is to resurrect the dead. So it's easier to give birth to like a new idea or a new opportunity or a new relationship than it is to go back and rekindle one that's already fallen down to the ground. Yeah, because there's something here in broad daylight that's just kind of hidden. It may be from both of us or just, and that's okay. And if we're not dealing with another person, really, well, we are, we are, we are. The thing about it is just like we're getting bigger, brighter, and better by the day, by the moment, by the second. And there's this other energy attached to us, or this former aspect of ourself that was attached. And it was attached in the unhealthy way where we were not getting the best out of our life or not going through our extension because we were attached to something that didn't wasn't moving towards us. And there could have been some type of collaborative or collective energy as well that was mirroring back or blocking the road of the new coming in. And new doesn't always mean something brand new. It could mean an evolution of something that we're already working on or an energy that we already have maturing. Because this Five of Wands over here has another meaning. We both want the same thing, but we're going about it in a different way. And what that could mean is like one person's energy repels the other person's energy. So like you go towards something or something comes towards us, and instead of like magnets, the opposites attract or repel. Because there's odious opinions here, unrealistic or unsympathetic advice. That's what we take or what this other person takes from others. And then what we're taking is like unpleasant opinions, creating doubt, denial of connection. There's some easy influence by others and their viewpoints. That happens when you have the moon or the Queen of Cups or the devil. Yeah, because now your chest burns and your back aches. So we have a moon, temperance, two of wands, wheel of fortune, four of pentacles, queen of pentacles. So Queen of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles is needing to secure something, needing sometimes to be stoic, but it's needing to be rigid. The queens are needs. Wheel of Fortune, the moon, one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. The word is affiliated systems. Queen of Swords with the Temperance card could be Pisces rising. We do have the Pisces energy here. Excuse me. Yeah, Pisces rising. Um, it could also be moon and Gemini to a much, much lesser degree. Now, somebody might have their Mars in the first house or Mars in Aries. And we have a pair of nines, which means the need to spend some time apart. Yeah, to choose life is to choose to forgive. So that was the thing. Like I was just getting like we weren't, or they, maybe us or them, if there is another person. Somebody wasn't moving on, moving forward. They were kind of staying stuck. And see, the star card means bigger, brighter, and better future. Hope, faith, and optimism, guided by sight. I mean, guided by faith, not by sight. It's looking up above the horizon towards the stars into the future. It's not head to the ground, Five of Cups, crying over spilled milk, looking into the past. Because there's a brand new opportunity here, and we have a double ace on our end. the second one here, which means that's a new beginning, especially with the Fool here. So the Fool in the Tower is a new crisis or being ejected. The Fool in the Judgment means that there was some kind of judgment celestially. Something went to the spiritual court, Seven of Pentacles. Excuse me just a second. Hi, honey. Hello, kiddo. Hi. Okay, so I was pulling on this double queen. We have the seven of, it's a triple queen, actually. We have three queens here, which means competition or vying for something. So I know there's another energy here, but I'm going to talk about us because the spirit, karma, life path, destiny. We're getting on our path. And there's other energies, either about who we used to be or where we used to be or who we used to be connected to, that's still working things out. And since everything is everything, and I'm saying that because moon in the wheel of fortune, how you do one thing is how you do another. So we have the temperance in the wheel of fortune, which means this is a prophecy or a long-term situation. Wheel of fortune and the judgment card. This is a prophecy. It was star-crossed lovers kind of deal. Because there was new love that came and it was catalytic to wake us up. We did the work where we had to get up and get out of whatever energy we were in, and we did that. This other side was still in their gestation. So it took them a while to get up and get out and start making moves. So I said the judgment and the wheel of fortune, that's prophecy. Judgment and the temperance card is receiving guidance from higher ups. Like, typically it's archangelic. So the universe was trying to see how long we would be in the past. Okay. Because Delarante, we would have been sitting there being like, oh darn it, I missed my shot. Oh darn it, I missed my window. Delarante, disgrazia. But also like understanding that there are moving parts and somebody is talking to somebody else. There is talking to somebody about like an outside party about like, oh, hey, we're in this wave, we're in this energy, or I'm feeling kind of way. And that's also kicking off things. Okay, what did I tell you about putting your butt in my face? Hey, kiddo. Baba's working. Baba's working. Don't put your butt in my face. So there's just this one thing, everything is everything. One thing keeps kicking off problems either that was happening in the past, because it's saying on our end things are turning around. And there's very much us now and our former self, and there's also us and this other energy that's not us, like who we used to be connected to. So it's I'm glad we can do a double reading because we really should only be talking about other people in the fifth, sixth, seventh, and 10th house. So something is going to come out to the open, but also just so you know, it's a little bit of ego too. La superbia is the peacocking. It's the strutting and the yeah. The thing is, somebody didn't want to tell themselves or others that they were in their feelings about something because we were ready or we are ready. Mercante, everything's in place. That's staying ready, saying got to get ready. We ready, ready. All right. Hey, kiddo, Baba's working. So let's read through here again this one more time. Let's check on this star card with the Nine of Cups, because that's a double wish. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. Never let it fade away. This is a failed petition. What it is that what they wanted came to them, but they didn't recognize it. Gran Signore, the thing that they wanted came. I know for sure we're dealing with another person because of the way that came. Not that it was sideways with the top facing to the left, towards the dark, towards the lunar side. So now we're in a situation where we're opposing another individual because our paths are not really aligning, growing together, we're growing apart. And the thing about that is that we're dealing with something that's a little bit adversarial. It's just not the right time. So that's the thing. If it's not the right time, it's not the right person. Papa's working, okay? I'm not going to give you that much attention right now. If it's not the right time, it's not the right person. That's another thing to that's hard. It doesn't mean that we close the gate or we shut it down, but we move on, move forward, leaving them behind. And if they catch up, they catch up. It's been a delight and an honor to serve. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. If anything that was said resonates deeply with you, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. This was a reading about us evolving. We're focusing on our spirit, karma, life path, destiny, our hope, faith, and optimism, our bigger, brighter, and better future. We're looking up above the horizon, towards the stars, into the future. We're being guided by faith and not by sight. We're also aligning into either our sacred office, our sacred duty, or the calling on our life, the mission we're here to fulfill. And there's just this energy of what happened in the past. It was a letdown, maybe even a heartache or a heartbreak. There was a lot of misunderstanding and misattribution. Somebody mislabeled, misjudged, misperceived, mistook, mistreated, misused, whatever, what have you. And it fell down to the ground. It didn't really go well, but we are victorious on our end. We are moving towards receiving glory, Six of Wands, and some other energy is trying to come back through and make sure that they secure what they lost, which was a relationship, a union, maybe even a twin flame union, not just a soulmate union, because we were the thing they wanted all along. But I think they recognize that after they miss out. Six of Cups is receiving anointing. So it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. Just a quick prayer for all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the seas of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional love and universal oneness. Honoponopono. We love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We pray that your steps are ordered, your path illuminated, and that you find salvation and redemption in this lifetime. May we find peace. May we find wellness. May we find hope. May we receive everything we ever wanted, shining what we deserve. Until we meet again, until we read again. Namaste, Dunnabat, and Ashe. Sayonara, das Vidania, Avidazane. Take good care. See you in the next one. Bye bye.